Okay, so moving on, I want to talk now about ellipses, which are obviously quite important if we got to draw vehicles for wheels, etc. Now, if I have a cube and I want to draw an ellipse on a vertical face and a horizontal face, what do I do? Okay, firstly, if I have a square which can correspond to this surface here, and I have a circle inside the square which touches at the periphery. So it's touching at, obviously, 4 points. And the center is also in the middle of the square. So I can find this point by drawing the diagonals. So that's the middle of this square surface in perspective, and consequently the center of the circumscribed circle. Now, an ellipse has a major axis and a minor axis, which is obviously the shorter one. The minor axis is going to correspond to a line which is going through the center, and it's going to this vanishing point. So the convergence here will correspond with the angle of the minor axis. It's not the same as the diagonal of the square. It can be in some instances, but in general, this is not what you should be looking for. You should be trying to imagine a line which is going in the same direction towards the vanishing point of the volume of the cube. The major axis is always at 90 degrees to the minor axis. That's just the way it is. It always is, right? And then, if we look at these points again, I can find this one and this one by going vertical from the center, and by projecting this way in the same perspective as the cube, I can find that one and that one. So now I have some information. I know that my ellipse is inclined in this way, and it's going through these 4 points. So I have an idea it's something like this. Okay. For the vertical surface, we can again find the center and the 4 points. If the cube is on a horizontal surface, then the minor axis is always vertical, and the major axis, being 90 degrees to this, it's horizontal. So it's always like this. Okay, there are two issues here. One is understanding this principle, and the second is drawing a nice ellipse and not some kind of a potato or something, right? This comes with practice. I find it easier if you kind of draw almost in the air first, and then you commit yourself onto the page. Okay? But I often see people doing ellipses totally the wrong way. It's like this. Yeah? This looks very dynamic in a kind of cartoony Tex Avery way, but it's totally wrong. It should be like this. Okay? So, once you're happy about drawing a reasonable cube, try this. After a while, you might get a feeling you might not have to do quite so much construction. But it's going to help putting the wheels on a vehicle and not falling into this strangey trap, which is totally wrong. Or some people also assume that it's always vertical, the axes, vertical, horizontal, and it's not true. It's dependent on the perspective direction. Okay, so try this.